Meanwhile, President Trump nominating former Federal Reserve Governor Kevin Warsh to replace Jerome Powell as the next Fed chair.
This comes after the administration launched a new initiative to address drug addiction.
Alexandria Hoff joins us now with the details on both stories. Alexandria.
Yeah, it was a busy day yesterday, guys. And this announcement this morning is solidifies something that the president teased last night. Kevin Warsh is somebody that the president has known for several years. He served in a economic advisory capacity during his first term. He's now been nominated by the president to succeed Jerome Powell when his term ends in May. We all know the back and forth there, some of the frustration the president has had with Powell when it comes to interest rates. He posted this on Truth Social. I'm pleased to announce I've nominated Kevin Warsh to be chairman of the Board of Governors for the Federal Reserve System. He goes around, continues on to explain a bit about his background there. He then also says, I've known Kevin for a long period of time and have no doubt he will go down as one of the great Fed chairmen, maybe the best. On top of everything else, he is central casting, and he will never let you down. So the president, he did mention that last night he was at a premiere for the First Lady's new documentary, Melania. But yesterday was a busy one because he also signed an executive order launching this initiative called the Great American Recovery. It's going to work to advise federal agencies on where to direct grant money to help fight addiction. Since President Trump's return to office, the CDC has said there's been a 20+% drop in fatal overdoses. The president says there is still work to do.
Today I'm signing a historic executive order to combat the scourge of addiction and substance abuse. We're taking a bold action to help Americans struggling with all forms of addiction so they can get the help and the support that they need to free themselves from the horrible burden of dependency.
More than 48 million Americans suffer from addiction. That's 16.8% of the population. Most do not receive treatment. Luckily, the chairs of this new initiative did. HHS Secretary RFK Jr. and Catherine Burgum, wife of Interior Secretary Doug Burgum.
Recovery is not a side issue. It's an economic issue, a workforce issue, a family issue, a national security issue. And when we confront addiction with courage instead of complacency, we reclaim the promise of our country.
My message is simple: never give up hope for recovery. This initiative represents a fundamental shift from reaction to prevention, from fragmentation to coordination, from stigma to science, from short-term fixes to long-term recovery.
In his early adulthood, RFK Jr. was addicted to heroin, and Burgum suffered from alcohol addiction until she became sober 22 years ago, guys.
Alex Hoff, live for us at the White House. Alex, thank you. And we've got more to say about the addiction, but can I just say one quick thing about Kevin Warsh? This is a significant pick, right? This guy, as President Trump said in the Truth Social, is, quote, out of central casting. But you look at who he is. He's 55 years old, but at 35, 20 years ago, 2006, he becomes the youngest member elected to the Federal Reserve under President Bush. In the first Trump administration, he was on the short list to be a Fed chair. Then thereafter, a consideration for Treasury Secretary. But this is a, Stanford undergrad, Harvard law. This is a qualified individual with 20 years of experience in this arena. And I think when we talk about, those polls we were showing about Democrats have an edge on affordability, the president and his advisors, Kevin Hassett, Howard Lutnick, talking about in 2006, it's going to take off. And Kevin Warsh is a part of this puzzle.
He almost became the Fed chair. Yeah. And then the president chose Powell. And so now he's going back to his original pick. Fun fact, he's married to the granddaughter of Estee Lauder. And she and her sister, Erin Lauder, who are very well known in the beauty business, they started a company together and became the youngest billionaire women in the country. So both of them, husband and wife, what a team. Yeah. Dynamic couple.
Well, another dynamic couple would be Doug Burgum, Interior Secretary, and his wife, Catherine Burgum, who is helping the White House work on an issue that is very, very near and dear to a lot of families, addiction, and the incredible struggle that so many millions of Americans go through and have family members who go through and children who go through. Rachel Campos-Duffy interviewed Catherine Burgum earlier this year on her own personal struggle with addiction. Here's a bit of that.
You struggled with addiction, and then now you're paying it forward through your organization.
Yeah, that's right. As First Lady of North Dakota, I spent 8 years trying to eliminate the stigma of the disease of addiction. It's a brain disease. So what we did for 8 years was just encourage people to talk about it, talk about how addiction has impacted their lives. Now, over 190 million people across our nation are impacted negatively by the disease of addiction. That's over half the nation. So we need to do something about it. So that's what I'm working on now, and that's my passion. And I've been given a gift that I'm paying forward, and it is something that's really important to me. So I'm grateful. I love that we have the head of Health and Human Services who really understands and has lived experiences.
She said that she started to drink in high school, and then she became a blackout. She said she was a blackout drinker from the very beginning, always struggled with it for 20 years, tried to stop, and then would go back to it. So she talks about that struggle and that process and how one day she just decided to go out on a walk. And she said, I didn't have faith. I didn't believe in, I just wasn't religious. She said, I went out and I just said, if there's someone up there, help me, please help me. And she hasn't had a drink since.
And we have her coming on the show along with Health Secretary RFK Jr. You don't want to miss that, an issue important to so many families.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.